We're all pretenders when it comes to prison rules, society, tattoos, etc., unless someone's been there. And the meanings behind prison tats can vary from place to place and person to person. Nonetheless, some tattoos are common enough that their general meaning is more or less understood by those who've never been inside.
It's an art form.
It represented your culture. It represented your beliefs.
Prison life and tattoos seem to go hand in hand. This is true not only in the United States, but across the world, whether to denote loyalty to a certain group, express a personal sentiment, or just look all fancy while dozing in your bunk. At this point, tattoos like playing cards, spiderwebs, certain initials, crosses on chests, and teardrops have pretty clear-cut meanings that are fairly widely known.
It's a prison tattoo. It's done with a pen, ballpoint ink.
We might as well start with teardrop tattoos. No, teardrops don't mean that an inmate is having a big old cry about doing bad things. No, it doesn't mean sad clown is on the list of backup careers. And no, you should not, repeat not, get one for kicks outside of prison because you want the whole world to know how hard you are or because you want to go viral like Jeremy Meeks. This is because, as Minutes Before 6 says, teardrops don't have the oomph that they used to have, and veteran convicts who harbor a stricter interpretation of tattoo symbolism can spot a poser a mile away. The supposed traditional meaning, if we can use the term, of a teardrop near the eye is that the person wearing the teardrop killed someone. 2 teardrops means 2 kills, 3 means 3, etc. But teardrops can also represent grief for a fellow gang member, while the outline of a teardrop can represent mourning the loss of a friend behind bars. On the other hand, an outlined teardrop can also mean an attempted but unsuccessful murder. And there's more. Family members and girlfriends of those inside the prison might get an outlined teardrop to indicate solidarity with their loved ones who's incarcerated. And on top of all this, the side of the face holds even more coded significance.
On the left, it can mean murders or attempted murders committed. On the right, it could stand for loved ones lost.
No doubt there are also plenty of other interpretations and meanings, and only the wearer knows for sure what their teardrop represents. But we're betting that some folks don't care about any of it and just think it looks cool. Card games sure are fun, right? I mean, you've got serious games like poker, simple games like war, plus rummy, cribbage, solitaire, and lots more. And if you've gone to jail for something gambling related, or just wound up in jail as a person who likes to gamble, then you're in luck. You can get a full card or just a card suit permanently inscribed in your flesh on a variety of body parts that may or may not include the knuckles. But if you happen to be in prison in Russia and someone carves a red heart into your skin against your will, you may be advertising something you don't want to be selling.
Some designs are art for art's sake, but others are symbols that can hold life or death significance.
In the simplest interpretation, playing card tattoos mean the tattoo wearer has a problem with gambling, according to Corrections 1. Or, thinking more abstractly, the person might see life as a gamble. Then again, as Tatring explains, it might indicate that the person believes they got served a raw deal on the way to prison. And because we've seen that tattoo meanings can get complex, Corrections 1 also explains that playing card tattoos takes on extra meanings in Russian prisons, where different suits mean different things. Spades mean theft, diamonds mean police informants, which is always a bad look for a prisoner, and clubs are for the generally criminal. Which brings us to spiderwebs. As Corrections 1 explains, a spiderweb tattoo implies that an inmate is a spider who snares its prey. Or much like the playing card entry in this list, it may signify how the prisoner feels about being in prison, which is to say, trapped. Less intuitively, it also might mean that an inmate is serving a long-term sentence, or is a prison lifer and/or repeat offender. Maybe they're stuck in the prison system, so to speak.
On a spiderweb tattoo, each strand can stand for a year of a prisoner's sentence.
There are an infinite variety of initials that a prisoner could get inked on their skin, as many as there are phrases in a given language. And yet, some initials are common enough for us to know the meanings. Unbelievable Facts outlines 3 common sets of initials that show up on prisoners. EWMN is at the top of the list, and means evil, wicked, mean, nasty. Sometimes it's tattooed on the knuckles. MS-13 indicates allegiance to the ultra-violent Mara Salvatrucha, a Salvadoran gang that originated in Los Angeles. Then there's ACAB, a tattoo originating in Britain that means all cops are bastards. Corrections 1, however, points out that some people think ACAB means always carry a Bible. And finally, AB means Aryan Brotherhood, a very obviously racially charged pair of initials. The final entry in our list comes to us from Russia. Vice interviewed Damon Murray, co-publisher of Russian criminal tattoo police files, which compiled photos taken of Russian inmates' tattoos from the 1960s through the 1980s by Arkady Bronnikov, who's regarded as Russia's leading expert on tattoo iconography. According to Murray, crosses on the chest are among the most common tattoos for Russian inmates. It's another symbol of loyalty, this time to the greater society of thieves. And perhaps because it's a cross, a symbol commonly associated with Christianity, it implies that the wearer is blameless and pure in the eyes of his or her criminal community. Living a Lot points out that crosses lost their original Russian meaning once they made the jump to the United States and other places. In Christian-majority countries, folks who see a cross would likely think immediately of Christianity. And yet, at this point, there seems to be an agreed-upon international meaning for crosses on chests, that the wearer is a high-ranking member of an organized crime outfit.